free too. So free can be
Oh
and then two and then one is not really
We're making circles that will represent trees
And
of
one
different
is
sizes and different canopy
most
levels.
regular.
And so we've actually calculated that on this board here to actually
Probably priority number one.
scale down, work that out so that we actually don't plant plants and species too close to each other. Nice canopy layers, shrub layers, and then those
Oh yeah. I was gonna just put them
Waiting about 5 minutes.
Lorraine, what are you doing there?
rubbing out. Creating the key for our large.
When we got the keys, then we actually got the piece, the rules that determines where the puzzle pieces or plants fit together, make up a food forest. So
We want it to be intuitive as possible.
intuitive as possible.
Everyone can understand.
So at a glance, people, we get to know the symbols, we can get to know the actions, and then we can understand exactly where they want to be, where they should be in relation to the house, in relation to where they see the forest, in relation to where they prefer to live and where they prefer to thrive. And we're working as we do, and yeah, it's a bit of a learning experience for everyone. It's the first time that we've done this kind of method, and we're working out what the symbols that we all identify.
It's like a really beautiful working environment.
It's a lovely breeze.
Got the formidable vegetable sound system
Yes.
inspiring us.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So my name is Leo. I'm from Belgium. I've been to one of Jai's course before, actually exactly here at Petals, like the introduction to food forests, and I was helping him out to. We decided to record the course, so I was doing like a microphone and more technical thing like filming microphone, putting like the files on the computer and stuff. We still have to work on making it as a podcast, and now I decided to come to this course to give a hand once again with the digital aspect of the permaculture design. So now we're making the design on paper, and maybe by the end of the day, hopefully, I could put all the information in the computer and have it as a 3D design, or at least geolocalized, and having everything on scale is a satellite picture of the property, and so it's like more accurate when we talk about zoning and all the entire aspect of the design. So what I do learn for sure here is how to. I've got pretty much a big part of knowledge Jai is teaching, but what I really learn here is how to share this knowledge with people, how to teach and how to explain to people this knowledge about food forestry sciences and microbiology of the soil, and even like basic permaculture designs. So for me it's really interesting to understand this technique or science of just teaching.
Teaching people to teach people.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I would really love maybe one day to teach to others, and so that's the main knowledge I've got out of this course.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, that's why I'm actually really enjoying it. I reckon Jai is a good teacher. He got a good approach. He goes straight to the point, and I think it's really easy to understand
Yes.
for the students. So I'm learning a lot about this.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
Plant. Pick a plant. So I'm going to do myself.
We've got 15, so tallow wood. So I'll do a tallow wood. Yeah? Is it? Yeah. We need the code over here.
So Windbreaks, simple break, that's black colour.
Black.
Yeah.
So,
So we need the coloured pencils down this end.
or maybe we can use some crayon. What else we got?
Animal food. What's our code? Stop putting them on the air.
Oh, there's a 10
Where's our bees?
Our bees are pollinators.
Yeah, so what's
So
our
that's-
code?
It's a flower.
It's a flower.
Okay, so
You want to
yeah,
go 50 meter away?
We're not doing any rules, just choose.
So
just choose one and use the tag and then the bees like that.
How do we know which one's these?
Maybe
Okay,
we should
so
cross it out
everyone-
with a colourful like
Yeah.
pink or something.
Yeah, so if you, when you choose your one, just like colour it in.
If it says drought, does that mean
No one's
drought
passion.
colour? Does the drought mean it's tolerant of drought?
Yep, that means it's a dry,
Hardy.
I'm thinking of killing grasses and stuff.
that's why you have a ruler.
So if mine has all of these, I've got to draw all these symbols on there across the spread.
You like pistachio?
Tree. We're creating symbols per tree to illustrate what each tree has a purpose for, whether it's for attracting pollinators, animals, or flowers, whether it's a good timber tree, a windbreak.
Remember the ground dogs?
What kind of habitat it likes, whether it likes a wet environment, a dry environment, whether it's a good wind tree to keep wind off, and how dense the canopy is, whether it's going to create a big shade mass or open, and what kind of birds and animals might be attracted to it, including bats and other pollinators.
So do you want to tell me about that one that you're just working on right now?
I'm doing the tallow wood. So the coding is showing that it has beautiful flowers, that's going to be attracting bees and other pollinators and birds, which is also the symbol for butterflies. Then we've got the food bowl, so it's feeding habitat. It's good for timber building and materials, and I need to do some more work to tell you the rest.
Those colours that you've got on the left-hand side there?
A wind block and a timber tree. And because there's overlapping, that's why I've got overlapping symbols, because some might only have a specific animal that might be a pest insect, or it might be a pollinating insect. Okay? So
Excellent. Beautiful.
Gas cookers, one of those would fit on the side switch. And that oxy disconnect there. And that was all.
oh, you want me to write?
What, is it a hybrid? What's the height of it?
It's 25 metres plus.
I can't do because if it was a conifer, it can grow to that height. This kind of
My friend did.
what was the texture of loving? Well, no. Might be two extra droplets.
Like when you put it in mind.
Actually, I don't know. Thanks.
Take a look around.
Using for our coding for our trees.
Take a look around. Get your hands into the ground.
Yeah, ideally, like.
Don't be scared of dirt.
Yeah, ideally we'd have like the simplification of land.
I want to talk about Jai because he's an awesome man. Leading a generation, leading a nation. It's really awesome what Jai's doing. I just want to thank you, buddy.
Neil for giving us a space and letting us give back to it. And that's why it's just a longer cycle.
So what I'm about to do is my project was bush tucker, and so my next plant I'm going to be doing is the sandpaper field, and it was looking at habitat for birds and wildlife and animals. So on my list I've determined that it's an 8 metre high plant, 4 metres in diameter, so I'll find a 4 metre diameter circle, and then I colour in the coding on our trusted coding map. And then we'll be adding and moving it around for where it's going to be applicable on our screen.
So do you want to tell me a bit about that tree, what you found out about that tree?
Okay, it's great for birds, caterpillars, butterflies, bats. It likes a warm to dry climate. It flowers and fruits in spring to early summer, and mature fruit in December and February, and the fruit is a green, maturing into a maroon colour. It has light hair particles on the fruit, on the top layer of the fruit, and it's a 1 to 2 centimetre size fruit. It's sweet and moist, and it's got hundreds of little brown seeds, and it's also used by the indigenous people as a sandpaper for sanding back off a lot of their tools. It has a thick white sap, and you can treat the thick white sap for itchy symptoms on your skin, including ringworms and things like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We're in mid-process at the moment. We're just getting to the stage that we're actually mapping out or putting the pieces together of the puzzle, which is this food forest. So we're at the stage that we're making the pieces, and we're putting it together, and we've made the puzzle, which we're going to be laying on top of, which is our original base map, which we went off one of Jane's previous designs. We've just adapted it for the food forest and the change in her in overall vision of the space. So that's what we see underneath us. I don't know if it's that Z. We just lightly penciled it in because a lot of this will be changed later on. We're just trying to get the general feel for the spacings and where we're going to put the trees. So we made a key which determine what each of these symbols on each of these plants mean, and we're using them as a reference point to help us decide where the best placement for this tree would be. So let's have a look at, for example, let's look at the jackfruit. We've seen on the placement that it also has a lot of medicinal values, doesn't like frost, so that says that we can't put it on the bottom of the block, which has a potential for frost, that it's actually high yield. So we'll actually be using it. It's actually got a good harvest time. It has a dense canopy, so it's going to be an understory, or it's going to be by itself. It won't be an overstory for some other tree. And we can also look at its growth habit and its height and its width. The width is actually to scale on this map and to scale on this piece, so we can actually understand in time how they'll fit together long term. The biggest failure that I see with people with food forestry when they get into it, when they see the plant at this size, which is in its juvenile growth, they plant one here and they plant one probably 2-3 meters away, and it seems like a big space, but 50 years time those trunks are just like pretty much rubbing up against each other, because if you think it's a whole different scale. Like a fully grown tree, when you see a small tree you won't see it as potentially being 15 to, in this case with neem tree, 20 meters wide. But when at the end of its life cycle in 100 or 50 years, then that's a different story. So we've made each one of these plants to the scale that they would be at their adult life. So we can plan to where they'll fit next to each other well into their adulthood. And then we can stack it too. The reason why we did it in trace paper is so we can have multiple levels of canopy, and we can see in relation to where they would fit. Determining the density of the canopy that we've coloured in determines if they're a really good overstory or understory plant. This Mexican tree fern is a really good support species. It's nitrogen fixated, it's fast growing, and we'll put that over the top of our long-term trees. or in between them, and that will help establish the canopy when the tree is actually quite small, by shading and giving them that support. But into the adult life, they just really assist, and they're more of a camouflage for birds and bats that fly over the top into the adult life. So we've got all the pieces of the puzzle together. We understand how they fit together and the rules that we've got to play with, and we're just playing with it at this point in time, and to see where the best design and see how all the plants fit together, which will be the finished food forest. From there, we work our way back, and we figure out, you know, what plants that we need to plant to assist these trees into their adulthood. So what support species, what annuals and perennials that will be growing around the fruit trees, help them establish into the long-term life. And eventually those our long-term trees will shade out our annuals and perennials. We move the garden to the outskirts of a food forest, and then we put support species underneath these long-term trees. And we work in that way. So at the moment we're seeing it at the end result, at the last stage. In around 50 years time, we're designing a fully grown food forest, and then we're going to be working back from there.